Welcome to Isis in the Bible, final spring gathering week number 9. I will always be back. The question for today is, how long does it take for you to reincarnate? We went through the room, and as always, we'll edit the video and put the responses in. Some awesome responses. It's not an easy topic, but hey, it's a beautiful one. So when you sleep through the night as if it were only seconds, where did the time go? Is it infinitely fast? We do know that there is no such thing as time in the unmanifest. Glad you could join us today. So what's happening in the sky? So this is a very important next couple of few days. We've got lots going on, and we even got enlightened by, thank you, Mary Fran, for an extra one to throw in here. The biggest thing is Mother Mary, Isis, Eris, pure love, she goes retrograde. So every July 21st now, she's lining up with the Nile River flooding. So the Nile River floods on average July 21st, and she lines with that. So that's a beautiful, important thing. That's why I titled it, Get Your Surfboards Out. Right, so there's going to be some more waves, because when she goes in retrograde, think about this. This is love going retrograde. What can we do to change so that we are less materialistic and more loving? All right, so that represents the Virgin Mary. It's not a literal being. It is just pure love. Okay, and also the mini-me of Mary, which is Venus, that's Mother Nature. Venus represents all beings, every single living being, plants, animals, insects, humans. That's what she is. She's also going retrograde. In Leo, the heart. So there's going to be a lot going on in Leo. There's a lot of people's going to get their hearts tested. We are made from the stars. And when you do medical astrology, it's all in here. It's all in here. So the second thing is that the sun is going to be exactly across from Pluto. Okay, and that's in Capricorn. 1 foot in the water, 1 foot in the material world. So don't keep both feet in the material world, and don't keep both feet in the spiritual. This is part of our journey right now to becoming more spiritual. So Pluto aligns the sun, and you know this scene, right? On the Egyptian walls, that's Pluto, God the Father, the God, the dog, right? Regeneration, your higher self, your higher unmanifested self, and you. So they're across from each other, Pluto and the sun. So that's the next couple of days. And alongside of that, we have Saturn, Father Time, also in retrograde, so something to learn. Pluto, something to learn. Men in your life, your management of time. What are you doing? What are you doing with your time? Are you doing material things? Or are you spending your time with forgiveness? Because Saturn's in Aquarius, and your time spent forgiving is really important right now, as we cusp this new age. We are moving into the age of Aquarius, and that's opposite Mars, which is now Pallas is coming up, which is communities. This is all in the heart. In the next couple of days, Mercury is going to join in the Akashic record. So that's going to be reminding us of the things we have to do with our heart. So a lot of heartfelt things are going to come in, both good and not good. If you've already done your cleanses, you'll feel everything. Your heart's going to be inspired, and I'm getting a lot of those. Although I'm getting the tests from the opposite side, I'm getting some beautiful heart messages too. So that's beautiful to happen. And then, as Mary Fran mentioned, that there's a grand cross happening in the North and the South Node. Okay, so this is the North Node we went over last week, that where Mary steps on the snake. I'll add an image in later when I edit the video. Every church you go to, you see Mary stepping on a snake with the moon under her feet. And what is the moon's North Node? So this happens this fall where she steps on that snake. So right now, the cross is between the North and South Node and Pluto and the sun. So another reminder of what are you doing to step on those non-loving vibrations. And those include the ones that are karmic, that are sitting there coming to us as a reminder. They show up every day, but we're not realizing that it's ours. It's ours to squash. This is going on in other people's lives. I mean, it always goes on, but you can really see it now more. And you can read it in people's charts. So that's what's happening in the sky. So let's jump into reincarnation, shall we? This will be brief, I promise. I will summarize in our own words with easy proof. So the heart of Plotinus, the essential Enneads. It's a profound exploration of the philosophy of Plotinus, a renowned ancient Greek philosopher. This book delves into the core teachings of Plotinus, focusing on his concept of the one, the nature of reality, and the path to spiritual enlightenment, providing readers with a concise and insightful understanding of his philosophical legacy. So I'm going to read a little section here, and then I'm going to preface over it after. In Egypt, the northern way, northern way is the point in the middle, is that which leads to the imperishable stars, the intelligible archetypes. This path is aimed at final liberation and the eternal noetic life, while the southern path leads to the realm of becoming, or that of reincarnation into a mortal body. So the point in the middle is north, everywhere out is the south. Not like we've been trained, all right? There's a north and a south pole, but everywhere to the outside is heading south. This is the point in the middle. When you grab a compass, you go all the way around the world, it'll always point that way, leading to the top, down to the middle. So the southern sky is governed by Orion and Sirius, along with the 36 decans, that is, the constellations which are periodically rising and setting, dying and coming into existence again, thereby symbolizing the psychosomatic world of becoming. The rising of each decan, in other words, there's 36 constellations around the outside as a decan, occurs after it has passed 70 days of invisibility in the duat. The duat is, right now, there's stars behind the sun, is there not? You can't see them. Those stars are passing through what they call the duat. They're passing through the light. So that's what they talked about when they're talking about each of the decan, the constellations. You can't see them, they're passing through the duat. So that's symbology and analogously what happens with us. The Osirian netherworld, a period corresponding to that of mummification, the process supervised by Anubis, the initiator into the mysteries of death and rebirth. So that's what that says, and I'll try to re-explain that in layman's words. So there's two paths that one can take. The northern path, the path to pure love, the path to wisdom, the path to the point within, leads to wisdom, as the stars are always there, that immovable stars, that light that we think we can stay in. This path aims for ultimate freedom and the eternal spiritual existence. On the other hand, the southern path leads to the realm of the constant change and reincarnation into a mortal body. In other words, we're talking manifest out, right? Leading to manifestation. So the path to unite is one love, they call it north, and the path away from unity or lack of love is self. That's what they're saying. So this is how they're saying is the analogy of reincarnation. Okay, let's talk quickly about reincarnation in the Bible by Blavatsky. So Helena Blavatsky, went over her before, a very powerful woman as a spiritual pioneer, states in her book, The Key to Theosophy, that reincarnation is very evident in John 15, 1-6. I'm not going to read through that. Anybody wants to, they can, right? But it basically talks about branches and trees and how the whole thing works on a tree, which is very analogous. So, but I'll just read what AI says about this, because I had a long discussion with AI on this book and reincarnation. According to the interpretation presented in The Key to Theosophy, the parable of the vine and branches is seen as returning to the spiritual concept of the upper triad in man, with Atma, representing the spiritual ego, or Buddhi, Christos, as the vine, and the personality being represented by the branch. The concept of reincarnation is associated with the branches, and each branch representing a new incarnation. So we can look out in nature and we can see reincarnation happening all the time. I mean, stick the seed in there, right? The seed will go on to new soil, be its own tree. It's a constant cycle. It never ends. It doesn't end. And I don't believe in an extinction of animals or plants, because they're all there. The seeds are all there, and the images are there for immaculate conceptions. So here's the thing. She talks for 53 pages in and out of the word reincarnation, 53 pages. She's a very powerful, knowledgeable woman. But I'm telling you, you only really need one page, and it's called the crystal ball, and it's the one above our heads, which not only houses but reflects out from our inner core of us. Like Jacob was saying, right? Our manifestation is out and it has a max throw. And this is the max throw. What we see there is the max distance as projected from within us. It's like a hologram. When the NASA and all these people keep zooming in, all they're doing is zooming in to the same point. And that point is light, it's infinite. You can't reach it, you can't go out. It's not billions of light years away. It's just infinitely you that comes from within. And this is the sun, you on the southern portion of it, always on the outside. The sun revolving above the point in the middle, as the ancients describe it, and the constellations are on the globe on the outside. That's what you see. You see the constellation moving, you see the sun moving, right? The earth doesn't spin. That's another topic, another rabbit hole. So ponder this next statement for a moment. Why is it that karmic events are 100% in astrology charts? That will mean we do remember. Because there's a lot of debates on, well, how come we come back and we don't remember our past lives? Well, every action we come up against is our past lives. That is our memory. We're creating the world that we want to live in by our actions. And that's what they're teaching on the Egyptian walls. That is the magic and the wisdom to liberation, not catching on to the self. And that's what Jacob was trying to get across. So our past lives, they come in waves. Our karmic waves, good and not good. So this is truly the best human experience we can possibly have. We have no choice but to meet in the point in the middle where pure love resides. It's happening, people. There's instant karma where we have to be loving again. You can see it happening all over the world. People are coming together in unity. They are. But you have to imagine it's going to happen too. Because you might as well jump in the flow because it's happening anyway. And that's written in the stars. So let's meet whistleblower Andrew Bridgen, who is delivering karma to those that need to stop delivering mass karma, because it's not going to be pretty if they don't stop. So here's two of his final statements in a video that he was talking about. He said, when people are afraid of politicians, we have tyranny. When politicians are afraid of the people, we have democracy. So he's saying there's a whole bunch of tyranny going on. He knows it. But the third one is this. When politicians are replaced by intuitives, Mother Nature regained dominion, i.e. Genesis. And that's written in the stars. And we're going there. And it's happening. And Mary steps on the snake this fall. So every one of our beings are being asked to come to love. This is truth. This last statement, we're not going to need politicians. The people are the power. And now we're going to regain it back because we're coming out of our karmic debt. There's a rabbit hole of that one to think about, because they were just delivering our karma, but they have to stop now because that mass karma is not going to be good for them. Okay, let's leave on a good note. Let's shift gears into a practical application that we spoke about today. A feel-good of this knowing we are infinite. So remember, the child has just come back from being his infinite journey back in karmic attachments. Being in karmic attachment to what his parents and grandparents did for him, because he is one with them, and he's one with the all and one with the universe. So our teary-eyed, almost 5-year-old grandson had us in tears when he said he does not want to go because they were here for the weekend, going back to Florida. I said to him, I looked at him and I said to him, you're not leaving, you're coming back. Don't think of it as leaving. Think of it as you're coming back, because you're coming back. He looked at me and he really accepted that logic. He immediately exchanged the expression on his face and he looked at his mom and said, okay, so we're going home to get something and we're coming back, right? So when we know we're infinite, but have to be full of love, then the travel is very brief. So he even proved that point. It felt better to a child know that he's coming back, because that is the truth, because we never go anywhere. We don't leave. There is no end. And here comes Mimsy to put the icing on the cake. Way to go, Mimsy. So, and that's all we have for today.